I still have a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yo, what is up, fuckers? Welcome back to another episode with the Pillar of Filler. I'm Justin.
And I'm Romo. We're here to talk a little more horror for y'all back on the channel. Justin, what are we going to be covering today?
I'm going to be covering Saw, the newest Saw.
Saw X, also known as Saw 10.
Which is like 12.
It is 10.
Like in all, right? Is it 12?
It's actually
is it
10.
10 including Jigsaw,
Yep. And
Spiral.
Yep.
Ah.
Yep. So it's Saw 5. 6 is the final. Let me pull this up. I'm pretty positive it is. Saw series, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think it's Saw Final Chapter is 6, or there's a Saw 6. There is a Saw 6, then there's Saw Final Chapter, which is 7. Jigsaw's 8, Spiral's 9, Saw X is 10.
They actually did it.
It's canon. Spiral's canon. Yep.
That's cool though.
I don't know when that time frame fits, but because we don't see an actual Jigsaw, like we don't see Jigsaw
In Saw X?
and Spiral.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, Saw X. That's probably the best part of Saw X is that we get Tobin Bell for like, the whole movie.
The whole
And
movie.
they just say, screw it, we're not going to play around with this time jumping flashbacks. He's dead. There's apprentices, but Saw X says, low-key, there's a Tobin Bell, John Kramer origin story.
Yeah.
That's how it felt to me.
And yeah, you're right. We're gonna get into it, but before we do, I'd just like to say that I may have fucked up maybe 5 minutes ago because
We may have recorded an episode.
we recorded an episode before this, and I was going through the camera and accidentally deleted it, and I can't get it back. It was a Five Nights at Freddy.
It was real good.
So
we'll have to do that one again.
yeah, it was. I don't know if we'll be able to recreate it because it was so it was genuine. You know what I mean? Like I really had
We'll get Garrett on it.
yeah.
Garrett will then talk the whole time.
Yeah, so I do apologize for that, and
Well, y'all will see some version of a Five Nights at Freddy's, whether it be a TikTok or something. We'll put some thoughts out there.
yeah, and
We'll get it.
so, but this specific episode is brought to you by Publix Purified Water.
God, no. Don't, no. Can't be doing this. Can't be doing this again. It's brought to you by our new pillars and our new backdrop.
Yeah,
And
and
we also showed off in
look, we got new merch.
new merch. We don't have spreading out just for us right now.
Yeah, it's just for us, right? I wanted to see what it looked like, and it,
I love it. This is fantastic.
it look-
the
it looks
gargoyle on a pillar is fantastic. We don't have a physical one up here, but I probably would like to get one.
I don't know if it fit unless we got a small one.
Well, we'd have to do a massive one, of course.
Yeah.
It
So
would have to be 8
yeah,
feet
it would
tall.
have to. It'd have to be. Yeah.
It'd have to sit
yeah.
right here, actually.
Yes.
And be actual, like, stone.
Yeah. But you know what though? It feels good to be back, and I'm glad we're doing another episode. So with this one, we're not actually gonna review this actual movie.
Yeah.
I think we're just gonna what we wanted to talk about is like comparison to other ones because we'll name like our
Some of our favorites.
some of our favorites. Is that new?
What?
That
What's that?
this
I've had this tattoo since March. Yeah, since March. I think March. Some of my best friends out here always still come up to me and say, "When did you get this?"
That- yeah.
I got it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
How do you not?
Well, I know the other ones. Hey,
That is my newest tattoo, but
it's at least
it's Peaky Blinders, Cillian Murphy. If anyone can see it in the video,
at least in the trivia, when someone was asked what year you were born, I would have gotten it.
yeah, because that's also here. I need to finish this sleeve, so
Yeah.
I'm on my way. I followed a few tattoo pages today, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll put a Saw tattoo on there because I
Good, the
fucking love
Jigsaw?
this movie so much. I put a Saw on there.
Yeah. We'll give quick thoughts, like what our favorites are. We'll compare. My original thought is I fucking loved it. I loved the movie. I'm not gonna like.
Yeah.
There was a point, about I don't know if it's 20, 30 minutes in, but I was so like it was so drawn out. I thought like the first 20, 30, I was like, what's
So they took some time
to set it up, and I was like, and it ended up making complete sense. You know what I mean? Like I understood why they did it now. But if you hadn't seen it, and you don't know like anything about like Jigsaw or Saw in general,
I think you at least need to watch 1, 2, 3, and probably 4. I know this one is in the middle of 1 and 2. You don't have to watch 3 and 4 to understand this one. I think it makes it better if you do, because there's Easter eggs, there's cool stuff that they do with the characters from 3 and 4 sprinkled in. If you've seen them all, like if you've seen this movie, hopefully you're watching because you have, because obviously spoiler alert in this. But Hoffman obviously is loosely involved in this movie as an apprentice, as he should be. But they obviously retconned that and showed, hey, he's been there also helping out since early on. So they did a great job with that. But I think if you go in and you watch 1 and 2 and then you watch this movie, you'll still love it.
I think you should watch 3 and 4 just so you can understand it a little better.
Yeah.
Because there are some things in there like
Amanda's
you'll
more
understand the whole movie as a whole, but there were some there were sprinkles in there from 3 and 4 that like you probably wouldn't get if you hadn't seen it.
You understand Amanda a lot more if you've seen 3.
Yep. Agreed.
She's great. She's fantastic in 2, but you get a little bit of both of her. You get her bitchy side in 3, buck wild bitch side, which I have some thoughts about that before this episode's over. And then in 2, she does at points have a heart towards Gabriella, which you saw how she cared for
The drug addict in this one.
Yeah, and you also saw how she cared for the son in the second movie that was in there with him.
Oh, yeah.
She knew she was involved in this, so she was actually looking out for him while others were like coming. Some people were coming after him in 2. So you see both sides of her, which I'll just go ahead and say it now. What I'm going to be really interested in is if they show us when that snap truly happened and expand on that a little more for Amanda. I think Amanda's money for this franchise.
There will clearly be a sequel. There was a post-credit scene. Spoiler alert. There's a post-credit scene in there that had...
I don't think that was as much as like an extension as it just was for the fans.
You don't think they're going to go with... You don't think they're going to make another one?
No, I do think they will. I don't think the post-credit scene has anything to do with another one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, he was the... And by the way, like, so...
That's just Hoffman killing off, and like that was the only loose end of this movie, right?
If I don't...
Was the guy.
Was the black guy, right?
Yeah.
With the... What happened to... Yeah.
So he obviously dies, and that cuts like all ties of this movie are done.
If they kill him, unless... Yeah.
Where you can't do a 2.75
Yeah.
or 1.75. You just can't do another movie between 2 and 3.
So what would that... I don't know.
Sorry, you can't do another movie between what's now 2 and 3, Saw X and Saw 2.
Where do you think they would go with this?
I think you could go after, like I said, I think you could go between number 2 and 3. In between see what happened, why Amanda becomes...
So you don't think Hoffman will be involved at all?
No, Hoffman's involved up until 6. Hoffman was involved in the movie in X. In the movie. We just didn't see him.
He did. He was. Yeah, you're right. That's who they called. Yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
I truly think showing Hoffman was just to please the fans.
Okay.
Just to be like...
They did show him. That's what the post-credit scene is. They haven't seen it. It's been out for however long now, so I don't really feel that awful.
We have spoilers anyway.
Yeah. So, but it was great. I loved the movie, and I'm glad they did it. Saw is probably...
It's one of the top franchises.
Probably one of my favorite franchises for sure. I don't want to go as far as my favorite franchise just because I love Halloween so much.
That's an episode idea. But.
Yeah. So, but it is one of my favorites as a whole. Let's go. I'm gonna talk.
Yeah,
let me see what my favorite, like my actual favorites. One's my favorite of all time.
Yep.
After seeing this. I go back and forth.
So what, excluding X, what are the next like 2? What are your top 3 outside of X? I have a feeling X is in your top 3 now.
Yeah. 2.
Okay.
3. 3.
So yeah, the original trilogy.
Yeah, the original.
Ours-
Yeah, and then Spiral. Like I love Spiral.
We love Spiral, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like Spiral.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
So-
Chris Rock is corny and very like his humor doesn't hit in a lot of that movie, but that movie was fantastic. I thought.
Yeah, I loved it a lot, and
A lot of imagery, a lot of good stuff in that. But this is a Spiral episode.
Yeah.
Our Spiral episode if you want to know more.
yeah. So that's up there. But after watching this, I go back and forth between like, now, do I like it better than 2, or is this like a recency bias? Right.
That's a very fair question.
So it's like it's up there now for sure. Just as a whole, like we're not gonna go too deep into this just because it's not an actual review, but it's up there.
I did a tiering of this, and like after my top 4, it was tailed off a good bit. Obviously, there's a big drop off. Personal taste, like I think 1 is the best movie of everything in the entire franchise. 3 is my favorite movie of the franchise.
Yep.
Number 3 is my favorite movie. So in my order, I'd say number 3 is my favorite, and I'm considering X in all of this. Number 3 is my favorite because I saw this movie and I was like, I need to think on this because this may be the best sequel. So I was not comparing that to 1, was just saying after 1, is this the best sequel?
Mm-hmm.
Personal taste has 3 at first, but number 1 is number 2 for obvious reasons. I think it's the best in the franchise from a movie perspective. And you could ask me tomorrow morning, I may have a different opinion. I think I still, after thinking about it so much, I think I still have number 2 at the 3 spot. But I think after I came out of that movie, like I said, I could easily think X is also number 3 for me instead of 2.
So it goes back and forth. Like you could switch it out, right? So you could.
Just
So you,
depends on the mood I'm in.
so you would go 3-1, 2, or 3-1X.
Yep.
Okay.
And that is purely maybe because I really like X was fantastic. X had me rooting for John Kramer.
Yeah.
Never thought I would obviously do because his hilarious we've never killed anyone that he says in the movies. Wild. Hilarious. I'm not a murderer.
Yeah.
Who puts him in the trap?
He
guy?
doesn't physically murder them,
Yeah.
but
So is he saying-
he thinks they killed because they kill themselves because they have the option to just hurt themselves.
Yeah.
But by the way, there was one guy in this that was able to make it out of a trap.
Mhm.
It was just the one guy though.
Yeah.
It was
Which he gets all the information of where everyone's at because of this.
Yeah.
And then he calls Hoffman. He tells me, he's like, I need these people kidnapped, which we find out that's like, obviously Amanda does the kidnapping, so they work together. But
yeah.
they had a lot of great scenes in this movie.
It almost this movie almost seemed like the beginning of who John Kramer was. Although 1 was the beginning, but this felt like it felt like this was his origin story of like where he came from. For those that don't know, he had like cancer, and basically he went through rehab with this guy, and by some odd chance ran across him and said he was cured of whatever cancer it was, and
the scam.
scammed them, and that's how they get to this place. He's like, you got to go call this person, they'll cure you. They called the person. It turns out they just scammed them out of however.
The chick is fantastic in this movie, by the way. The main villain.
Yeah, I don't know her name.
Jigsaw's the villain, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
She's actually incredible. She is Katie Barbier. No, that's cancer support.
blonde chick.
Sanovi Makodi Lund. That's Dr. Cecilia Peterson.
Yeah.
She's so good in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. There was like no point in this movie where I thought that John Kramer was actually gonna die.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't like so when they.
It still
There
made
was-
good. The ending was obviously good. But
Yeah,
we know when John Kramer dies.
yeah, but I mean in comparison to the rest of the other Saws, it says like
It feels like a Saw movie.
yeah, because honestly after 3, and then there's like a big drop off, right? Like I think personally, like it just I don't know if it's the quality, but like it just wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Like from 4 to 7.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Jigsaw was not good at all.
I think it's the worst in the entire franchise.
Yeah, but then they came back with Spiral and like X. Amazing. I'm glad they did, and they just like completely turned it around.
I
again.
put X a good bit above Spiral.
Yeah.
X is like incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down to a Saw sequel, but also like recapturing what made 1, 2, and 3 so great. That's what that did.
Yeah, and I love that we get to learn about John Kramer and his story. That's like the biggest thing. Even though like it took a while to set up the actual movie.
Yeah.
I think it was worth it. I thought it was this movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it
It's fantastic.
for sure. So
It's freaking great.
yeah,
Where would you, without us worrying too much about it, where would you put it on a pillar rating?
a 4.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I dance between 4 and 4.
4.5. Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 4 because I did put 2 movies ahead of it
Yeah.
in the franchise at least, and possibly 3 based on the day.
Yeah.
So I'll go 4 out of 5, and I think that's extremely fair.
Mhm.
I think I had Evil Dead Rise at like a 4.5. I'd have to look back, but
Yeah. And I
this was
like
one
this.
of
I like this better than Evil Dead Rise.
this was one of the better horror movies. Obviously, like it's a top horror movie of the year. My top horror movie of the year is still Evil Dead Rise, but this one is like makes a conversation. Scream 7 also fantastic, but those 3 like conversation wise, you could really argue any one of them. I think.
Yeah, my personal favorite's Saw. I would go. So for me, it would be Saw, Scream, and then
Scream
then
6,
Evil.
I may have said Scream 7, but Scream
Yeah.
6. Yeah, I mean that's. I'd probably go Evil Dead, Saw, Scream.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what your opinion is, and like
I'm a massive Evil Dead stan.
yeah.
Love Evil Dead.
I hate the video games though. I don't know if you ever played it. It's
I
not
didn't.
good. Yeah. But it was not. I mean, yeah. That's what we would rank them, and that's how we would rank like in
Yeah.
comparison to the other ones.
Let us know what y'all rank them as. Where do you put Saw X? You don't have to tell us everything. Where do you put Saw X? And maybe let us know your top 3.
Mhm.
I'm really interested because I think that's where the hot topic stands. Unless you hate this movie, I think you're actually looking at it like, where do I compare it to the top sequels of the franchise?
Yeah, because I think it might. Man, it's so hard. I do go back and forth between like whether I like it better than 2, or you know what I mean. Like it's like
would you put it as your top sequel?
yeah, probably
Yeah,
yeah.
I like it. I've heard several people say that's the best Saw movie since the first one.
It's so good. So go watch it.
It's a great movie also. It's not just a great Saw movie. Obviously, if you can't stomach gore, you don't see it. But it's a great movie at its core.
Yeah, I would agree. So with that said, man, I think it was time for us to log off.
Yes,
Happy
sir. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, and let us know your thoughts. We'll get some Friday Nights at Freddy's thoughts.
yeah, I would do something, man. I fucking hate myself for that.
It's all good. You didn't catch that. I called it Friday Nights at Freddy's. Justin,
Did you?
called it
Oh
Friday
shit!
Nights.
Yeah, I did that one. Like
Justin, we had
so
like
many bloopers.
bloopers. Justin's calling it Friday Nights at Freddy's. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I don't know why I was thinking Friday Night Lights.
You just watched Freddy vs. Jason also, so you may have.
I did just watch that again. I love that. Which, by the way, you should go watch The Boogeyman again.
I need to watch that.
Do you have Hulu?
I need to watch that.
So, all right. Well, as always, man, peace and love. Thank y'all.